All right, YouTube, once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Talking Auburn football. Go ahead and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. I appreciate all the members that we do have here. And like the video, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. I mean, college football has taken such a trajectory even since I've started doing this channel. You got the transfer portal. You got so many different entities that have changed the litmus of what college football is now. You look at a situation where Dabo Swinney was on pace to be one of the best college football coaches in history, along with Nick Saban, along with some of the others who have done well with college football, but now he finds himself in the dumpster pad of college football. You know, you lose to NC State and all of a sudden people are like, well, hey, is your dynasty over already? Paul Feinbaum took to the case to where he was like, look, this guy's not even in his 60s yet. And it's already a possibility that the dynasty could be over. You look at a lot of other games this coming weekend, this particular weekend, you got USC, who has a Heisman Trophy quarterback that struggles against California, 50-49. Also, you have Deion Sanders, who is doing well. I think, when we look at what was going on in Colorado, a lot of folks were expecting, especially with all the talk with Deion Sanders over the offseason, you kind of thought that, you had this take over the world type situation, but Deion Sanders has been honest the whole time. And he said, I got some guys, but I just don't have the guys yet that I need to be ultimately competitive. But he has been competitive. Outside of the, Oregon State blowout, he's done pretty well to be competitive in what has been a much more impactful Pac-12 conference. Losing to UCLA, I don't think that's something to be ashamed of. These guys are really competing. They're really doing their thing to put themselves in optimal positions to be successful. Then you look at the top, 25, you look at Georgia, who is still holding their own. A lot of folks thought that since Brock Bauer was out, that Georgia would, kind of collapse offensively. I was talking to one of my colleagues today, and I was like, well, hell, it looks like Georgia. Now, I'm not going to say that they needed Brock Bowers to be absent, but I am at the same time, because Brock Bowers' absence has allowed even more play calling options for the Georgia offense. Big shout out to Georgia winning in the world's largest cocktail party against Florida. I thought that was a very impressive victory, especially considering, especially considering how Georgia started out. I thought Florida got off to a fast start. They scored first. They had some momentum, and then Georgia, finally started to collapse some things and made some things happen to put themselves in a position to be in the driver's seat in the SEC East. But they do have Missouri coming into town. Missouri is a very hot football team. They have a lot of talent. Now, my only concern about Missouri, I just think Georgia may have a little bit too much from a talent standpoint. And then you tackle that with that crowd in Athens at Sanford Stadium and how those guys respond there. I just think, you're probably looking at Missouri taking a loss in that game against Georgia. I'm not going to do a prediction yet as far as specifics, but I just don't think it's Missouri's time. I think Georgia will have another consecutive SEC win against Missouri in that game. Texas A&M actually redeems themselves and wins against South Carolina. But let's look at Auburn. Auburn, who has been struggling for the last few weeks to find some offensive identity. You got the musical chairs with the quarterback, and you have just no cohesiveness in that offensive side of the football field. The defense has played relatively well. I'm going to get to the defense in just a second because I have some concerns there, but offensively, very impressive. Very impressive how Peyton Thorne, after all the criticism over the past few weeks, he's not the guy, he's a bust, blah, blah, blah. He came in and he did everything that Auburn needed to do to be successful in this football game. Having one of his best games of his career, obviously one of the best games against a Power 5 football team at Auburn, being able to run the ball, being able to pass the ball. You talk about a guy that was able to get the ball to 11 different football players, which says a lot as to how his eyes are starting to move. Now, there was one instance, I can't think of exactly, there was one instance where it was like 3rd and 10 maybe. These are passes that I want to see Peyton Thorne complete. I like the pass that he did complete, but I want to see more completions like this. Okay, so you have a situation where Jay Fair goes on kind of a dig route slash curl route slash out route, and he finds a crease to where Peyton Thorne is able to fit the ball in the middle of the field, right around the hash. I thought it was a good play. Thought it was a very good play. However, I thought it was a very low percentage play considering what he had. Okay, so you have Jay Fair that goes in the crossing route and finds a crease in the defense and gets that catch for a first down. Great play. What I want Peyton Thorne to have done on that play, and I'm pretty sure that Hugh Freeze probably talked about this. What I want you to do is I want you to find Shane Hooks in the out route on the left side of the football field where he was wide open. Would have gotten the first down, probably would have gotten a little bit more. And those are the passes that I think he was missing early on, but because of the protection, he couldn't see it anyway. But I think in the film session, you got to see those. You got to see that he's wide open. Several passes. I think Hugh Freeze has some really good route running concepts to where you get the defense way off balance. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do this against Vanderbilt. How they stretch the field, but then they have some things underneath that can be successful. Excellent. I thought an excellent game plan for Auburn. Get off to a fast start. Probably my favorite drive of the game was late in the second quarter. Auburn gets the ball back. Auburn runs their 2-minute offense. They had about a minute and 35 left to score. Jerquez Hunter gets a big run, gives up Auburn some opportunity to score right before the half. The game is 17-3. And then a beautiful play call by Hugh Freeze to get kind of sort of a, okay, so here's the concept. Auburn's confusing you with their running routes in the red zone. I thought this was very good red zone play calling. But you sneak Jeremiah Cobb, who is a speedster out of Montgomery, Alabama, and perfect pass. Those are the things you got to do. Auburn goes up 24-3 at halftime and continue there to manage the game to where a lot of folks were like, well, damn, Vernon, why did Hugh Freeze, take his foot off the gas? Why keep your foot on the gas? I mean, the goal is to win the game. The goal is not necessarily to blow a team out, to, give some eye candy to the polls at this point. This guy is still trying to manage the depth of his team. Not getting a lot of touches offensively in the third quarter. I think he Probably got about 3-4 possessions or whatever. But he knew that his defense was good enough against this offense from Mississippi State to manage the football game, to get these guys out of here injury-free and live to fight another day in the SEC as they face Vanderbilt this week. Here's my takeaways from this game. Number one, I think Auburn has a really solid team. I'm not going to say a great football team, but they are starting to piece some things together to be competitive down the stretch. Number two, getting Austin Keys and Keontae Scott back has been huge, and it's taken a lot of pressure off of Jalen Simpson, has taken a lot of pressure off of Eugene Asante, I think, in the way that they can role play with this defense. Where are we at? Number three, Auburn being able to spread the ball to 11 different guys, I think, was really phenomenal for this team, especially going down the stretch to where you're going to have every guy available. Number four, I think even though Damari Austin did not have an impactful role, having him back in the system is really huge. I think he will get back and continue to be a complement to Jarquez Hunter, along with Brian Battie and Jeremiah Cobb. I just want to see Sean Jackson. I like the feel-good stories, and I think the guy is really good. I want to see him a little bit more. Next, you got Alex McPherson as the kicker. My goodness. This guy, 50 yards out, it's money in the bank. Money in the bank. He has performed very well. Don't think he's missed a field goal all year. I don't. And I think Auburn did a good job of not creating a lot of not turnovers, but did not turn the ball over, protected the football, and gave themselves offensively very respectable stats to be able to compete down the stretch. You talk about 400 plus yards, decent time of possession, Peyton Thorne being able to finally figure out the run pass option. He's probably a little bit better of a pusher down the field running wise than we thought. And last but not least, we talk about Peyton Thorne again. I think he's your starter. I think he's your starter at quarterback. I think he's your guy that has earned the trust of the coaching staff, has earned the trust of the team. I think Robbie Ashford will still play a role in this offense, but I think you got to give the keys to Peyton Thorne at this point. All right, guys. We're going to do some things this coming week. We got Vanderbilt this week. Vanderbilt is a team that Auburn has traditionally not played well against. Usually the talent differential is there on the side of Auburn, but Auburn usually struggles with Vanderbilt. I mean, I think the series is tied, actually, which is a surprise to me. But I want to give a big shout out to all the content creators for Auburn football. Like this video, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.